I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of March 7, 2012. We've got another great week's worth of books that we're excited to talk about. Second week in our new format. We appreciate the comments that many of you have left in the box below and encourage you to keep doing so, leaving questions, comments, favorite recipes, whatever you want to do that will make this more interactive. So we're changing the format up a little bit, and we wanted to highlight the top 5 comic books from last week as far as sales at Alter Ego Comics. Now, this is not indicative necessarily of national statistics, and it is only 1 week's worth of data, but here we go. We'll start the countdown. The number 5 best-selling book was Batman Beyond Unlimited, number 1. Number 4, Avengers, number 23. Number 3 was Venom, number 13.4. Number 2, Amazing Spider-Man, number 680. And number 1, by a long, long ways, was Justice League number 6. So there you have it. We always talk about the books that we like, and a lot of times they're not the books that you're buying. So we thought you might want to know what's selling well from week to week. So that was last week's top 5. We can get a cool graphic or something to go with that. Who knows? Like David Letterman.
Hi-oh.
All right. Over to you, Josh.
Over to me, Josh. Also on the sales front, we've had a dramatic development in the Alter Ego Top 10 Trades of All Time list. Watchmen has been number 1 since we opened, and now it is no longer.
That's 6 years for those of you keeping score.
So this is based on the total number of graphic novels ever sold of any individual title. The previous number 1 was Watchmen by a wide margin, and that margin has been closing until this week. It was surpassed by Walking Dead number 1. Walking Dead Volume 1, Tony Moore has beaten Alan Moore, possibly with a bat.
And then Tony Moore left the series after the first 6 issues. And did just
number
the
1's
covers.
the only one that's in first place.
The other volumes of Walking Dead are rapidly gaining ground on the rest of the top sellers. So the whole bestsellers wall could soon become Walking Dead. Who knows? Thank you to those of you buying Walking Dead comics. I feel like I should say our top story tonight. But anyway, we'll continue here. This week, I'm going to kick things off with Action Comics number 7. This is a return to the storyline that started, and then we had a little bit of a hiccup with a future storyline by Grant Morrison and one of the Kubert brothers, I don't remember which. But Rags Morales is back on artwork duties, and it's a continuation of the Brainiac storyline. Metropolis has been thrown into a bottle, similar to the bottled city of Kandor from Krypton. And how Superman and the people who are still left standing in Metropolis, not inside the bottle, outside the bottle, are going to save everybody. It was good. It was a good return to what made Action Comics really cool when it started, exploring Superman's early years in this new 52 universe. So I liked it.
And I liked Avengers Fury's Big Week. This is the first of a 4-issue tie-in series that's going to set up the Avengers movie. And if you've seen all of the Avengers prequel movies, you know, Thor, Iron Man 2, Captain America, The Incredible Hulk, some webisodes possibly. There's not a lot that's new here. Essentially what they've done is they've got a framing story set in the Marvel movie continuity in which we see exactly how all of the appearances of Nick Fury break down. So essentially we're cramming, or at least appears we're cramming, all of the Fury appearances thus far into 1 week. And we see chronologically how his appearances in Iron Man and Cap work out. And it's actually kind of cool. You get to see more of Agent Coulson, which is his first time in a comic book outside of the Iron Man adaptation. And it's a lot of fun. If you're looking forward to the Avengers, it's a great thing to whet your taste buds a bit, and a decent read.
First of a 4-issue series.
Indeed.
And it might be weekly. I'm not sure. Stop by. Check it out. Avengers Children's Crusade comes to an end with issue number 9. This is a series that has been going on for a very long time. 9 issues, 2 years, give or take, to tell this story. But it was so good. That's the sad part about this, is because of the length of time in between issues, a lot of people bailed out on it. People didn't give it a shot, and it really is, in my opinion, a central part of what's been going on in the Marvel Universe right now. There's a lot of big stuff that happened in this series, and we're going to see the ramifications, I'm sure, moving into Avengers vs. X-Men starting in April. So the reason I'm telling you that the last issue is out is when the hardcover comes out in a few weeks, you absolutely want to pick it up. It is just an excellent, excellent story by the Young Avengers creative team of Alan Heinberg and Jimmy Chung.
Yeah, and that's the first time they've been together back on Young Avengers since the original miniseries. None of the intervening stuff was by them.
It's a beautiful book. Jimmy Chung's artwork is outstanding, and he doesn't do a lot of interior work. He does a lot of covers, but to see 9 full issues of his artwork was outstanding.
Also on the Teen Heroes front, we have Avengers Academy number 27, which features the first part of a two-part crossover with the Runaways. The Runaways need some help locating their lost dinosaur, Old Lace, and have come to Hank Pym and the Crazy People and Reptile. And it's very cool. I love The Runaways. It's no secret that's one of my favorite all-time series, created and written for the first 2 arcs by Brian K Vaughan, who you may remember from such books as Ex Machina, Why the Last Man, and upcoming books, possibly that may be coming out next week, maybe. And Christos Gage has got a great feel for the Runaways characters. He's taking them over, and really, the personalities stay very much the same. The dialogue's right. It really rings true like the actual characters as Vaughn wrote them, and it's just a lot of fun. Avengers Academy's been good from issue 1, and adding the Runaways makes it even better.
Next up is Fairest number 1. This is the new series from Vertigo Comics, which is a spin-off of Fables. So it's written by Fables creator Bill Willingham, with artwork by Phil Jimenez, who did Infinite Crisis and some of the Spider-Man One More Day, Not One More Day, Brand New Day stuff. You'll recognize his artwork when you see it. It's awesome. But Fairest is going to focus on the princesses, the queens, the royal females of the Fables universe. And number 1, if you're not reading Fables, you should be. If you're a fan, I've said this before, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. If you're watching Once Upon a Time on ABC, Fables is essentially that show. It's like they took Fables, tweaked a few things, and made their series Once Upon a Time. So if you like that show, Fables is absolutely for you. So Fairest takes place in the Fables universe. I'm a big Fables fan, but I'm way behind on my reading. I read it in collected edition, and I'm a couple volumes behind, but it was still easy to pick up this first issue and understand what was going on. And I think you can still get it if you've never read Fables too, because they do kind of a good job of setting up what's going on. It's got a great cover by Adam Hughes, if you're a fan of Adam Hughes's work, which many of you are, I know. Really, there was nothing not to like about... Is that double negative? There was there was nothing not to like about Fairest number 1. I highly recommend it.
And I highly recommend Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Infestation number 1. Now this is the this is the third mini-series in the Infestation 2 crossover, and it's very good. In some ways it's actually better than the others, because with the Transformers tie-ins or the Dungeons & Dragons tie-ins, you have kind of whole universes, you have broadcasts to draw from. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is 4 turtles and a rat. So it's pretty much all central characters. It follows primarily Donatello, because he's the brains of the operation. He's the one that's going to get crazy references to Lovecraft and the other Cthulhu things that are going on, and they're delving beneath the streets of New York City, which is always fun to have that kind of undercity vibe going through with ancient tunnels and things that have been closed off. And it's just a great read. If you've been enjoying the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, it's an excellent companion to that.
Another number 1 is on my list this week, Manhattan Projects number 1. This one is written by Jonathan Hickman, who's doing a stellar job in Fantastic Four and FF, which we talked about last week. Hickman, for me, is a little hit or miss. Some of his stuff is so highbrow that I just can't understand it. I'm dumb. No, it's deep. I mean, when he does science fiction, he does like hardcore science fiction. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to get this or not, and it turns out it was the best thing that I read this week. It's basically a takeoff of the actual Manhattan Project, and takes place in the 1940s. Oppenheimer is recruited to join the Manhattan Projects, which is essentially get the smartest people that you can find, and whatever you dream of, the U.S. military's behind this, but we don't have all, because it's the first issue, we don't have all the answers yet. But if a scientist can dream it, this group is going to make it happen. So you're dealing with, interdimensional travel, you're dealing with creatures, you're dealing with just funky stuff. And much like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, there is a twist in this first issue, and it's a good one, and it sets up what I'm sure will be an excellent series. So if you're a fan of BPRD, I would recommend it. If you're a fan of kind of alternate history type stories, although it kind of sort of takes place in our real past, or if you're just a fan of Oppenheimer. I should mention Albert Einstein is also in this book. So if you're a fan of scientists, Manhattan Projects is for you. Even if you're not, it was really, really good. And that's coming from me, who I'm not the smartest guy out there, really.
And next up on the trade front, we have Ghostbusters Volume 1. Now this is the first trade of the Ghostbusters ongoing series that's been incredibly strong since it started. The creators of the book clearly have a very deep affection for the movies, and it goes into the expanded universe. I mean, there are references to things from the cartoons, from some of the novels. These guys love the Ghostbusters, and it really shows on the page. They've got the characterizations, the voices down. Sometimes the art's a little unsettling. They went a little overly cartoony to kind of exaggerate who's who, but you can clearly tell Venkman is Venkman, Egon is Egon. And it's just great. It's everything you loved about Ghostbusters in a comic book, and unless Bill Murray gets his act together, we're not going to have any other Ghostbusters anytime soon, so it should hold you over.
You want to do the other number ones?
The other number ones, we had so much great stuff this week. So many number ones rattling off the shelves that we did not have time to tell you about each of them, so we're just going to do some quick hits. We've got Age of Apocalypse number 1, written by David Latham. This picks up from the Age of Apocalypse stuff in the Uncanny X-Force book. We've got Hell Yeah, which is an Image title featuring, I don't know, how would you say it? Young people who are the children of superheroes. Kind of, it's almost like Reality Bites if your dad was Superman.
There you go.
Is what I've got.
Josh has summed it up very well.
And next
Hell
up,
yeah! Sorry.
And Night Force number 1, which is reviving an older series from DC. It's being written by Marv Wolfman. He wrote, Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was editor-in-chief at Marvel for about a minute and a half.
This little thing called Teen Titans.
A lot of Teen Titans.
Yes.
But Marv Wolfman's awesome, and if you like kind of creepy, mystery, horror stuff, it's a lot of fun.
Marv Wolfman, he's a creepy, mysterious guy.
He's like Neil Gaiman's uncle or something.
Yes. All right, well, Josh alluded to something earlier in this episode when he was talking about The Runaways by Brian K Vaughan, and next week is a big week for Brian K Vaughan fans. Saga number 1 comes out next week, and this is the first new comic book series from Brian K Vaughan since Runaways, since Why the Last Man ended.
Unless you're counting The Escapists, which was kind of a spinoff.
Yes, or there's that. But but first up, Why the Last Man, one of the best series of all time. It's in our top 10 bestsellers. We recommend it to anybody and everybody, and it's just great. Runaways is also right up there. Josh and I are both huge fans of Runaways. So Brian K Vaughan carries a lot of weight. He was a writer on the TV show Lost. He's been doing a lot of stuff in Hollywood for the last few years, which is why we haven't seen any new comics from him. But he is returning to comics with a new series called Saga, which is Romeo and Juliet meets Star Wars. So it's this space opera dealing with two lovers that shouldn't be together, and battling races, and it's just this huge epic scope thing with tremendous artwork by Fiona Staples, and we love it so much. I've actually had a chance to read an advanced copy of it, so I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm telling you the truth here. It's great. So we came up with this promotion, more than your money back. So if you buy Saga number 1 and you don't like it, bring it back, and we'll give you $5 in store credit. The book is $2.99.
It's a $2.99 book.
It's a $2.99 book. It's an oversized first issue.
44 pages of glorious Fiona Staples artwork.
And fantastic Brian K Vaughan script. So for $2.99, you get an oversized comic. Take it home, read it. You don't like it, keep it in good shape so we can resell it if you bring it back. We won't taunt you if you bring it back much. But we will give you $5 in store credit if you don't like it. You do have we'll come up with the ground rules later on, but I think it's a week that we'll give you to check it out and then bring it back. So we're so confident that in this book that we're doing more than your money back. We've never done this before, and we figured we've been talking about doing something like this, and then Saga came along. We both had a chance to check it out, and this is the one to start it with. So next week, come in, check out Saga. I really don't think you'll be disappointed. And if for some reason you are, bring it back. We'll give you more than your money back. That does it for this week. As always, we appreciate you taking some time to check out this episode of Alter Ego Comics TV. You can find us on the Facebook at facebook.com/alteregomaniacs. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/alteregocomics. And of course, stop in and see us in downtown Lima. Thanks for watching.